And we're live. Welcome to the first episode of the Brown Boys podcast. This is Aditya. I'm a senior at Irvington High School, and this is a good friend of mine, Jahnu, who's also a senior at Irvington High School. This podcast is just going to be us talking about random stuff. I mean, it could be college apps, it could be your identity as an Indian in the Bay Area, it could be sports,
Pandemic.
technology, pandemic, whatever. I don't know. The conversation's just going to go, and we're going to see where it takes us. So I think this first episode is going to be more focused on brown culture overall and our identity specifically as Indian people in the Bay Area. So, let's just get started. So, I mean, both of us evidently are Indian and we're in the Bay Area where, there
Okay,
are.
maybe I'm Sri Lankan out there. How can you tell?
Okay, I'm sorry, but I know you. So, it's not an assumption, okay? It's a fact. So we're both Indian, and we both live. I mean, it doesn't even have to be Indian. I mean, I don't know why we're holding it
Brown
just to
in general,
Indian.
brown.
Brown in general,
Brown.
you could be Sri Lankan, you could be Pakistani, you could be Indian. It doesn't matter. We're not excluding anyone here. We're not getting cancelled, right, Johnny? We don't want to get cancelled here. No
I know
cancel,
that.
no canceling going on here. Okay, yeah. So I mean, we're both Indian in the Bay Area, so. I mean, talk a little bit about what that has been. How have you, connected with your culture when you're here? I mean, like, yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, if you want to talk about from an academic standpoint, it's a very difficult, it's kind of a struggle because, so many brown people in our schools. I mean, I went to YBEL for elementary school, and, you also did. And, how even from fourth grade, it was very competitive. And, everyone was talking about their grades and essays and test scores. And I feel like just being a brown kid in general is already very hard because, your parents already put so much pressure on you to do well in school. That's just how our culture is. And being a brown kid in the Bay Area is even harder because just like everyone's a brown kid here. So it's like you get even more pressure because it's from your parents and from your peers around you. And so that pressure just, kind of adds up and makes you makes you make these decisions that, might not be the best for your mental health or might not be the best just academically, like taking like 8 APs or taking like a lot of advanced placement courses in 1 year, which could, have a bad effect on your mental health or, cause depression in some cases. And, all this is just a result of brown people or brown parents because they just want you to they want you to succeed, but they present it in a way that doesn't seem like they want you to succeed. It seems like they just want you to get all A's and be the top in your class.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I don't know. How do you feel about it?
yeah, honestly, I feel like it's gotten to the point where we're no longer emphasizing academics to the point of learning. They're just trying to overload you. I mean, it's definitely helpful in terms that it's going to boost your portfolio and boost your resume. But I mean, is it really helping you? Like, I mean, I've talked to people who have said that their kid, even at the age of 4, started a nonprofit. Like, what does that even mean? How are you 4 and starting a nonprofit? Like, can you imagine? Our brothers are both 9. Can you imagine them starting a nonprofit? Like, it would be.
I can't imagine myself starting out brother right
Yeah,
now.
like what? Like how? Like how do you do that? Can you like do you like? Are they finessing? Are they? Did their dad just do it and they're like, you know
But
what?
this
It's just,
point probably do it for them and then just give them the
yeah,
credit because
no way.
that's another problem, right? I mean, brown parents, they at this point they don't care what needs to happen to get their kids to succeed, So they can just fabricate something up to that's probably a lie, right? Their 4-year-old did not likely actually create a nonprofit themselves. So
Yeah, likely not. I mean, I think that it's just the competitive nature of our parents, Asian parents in general, because many of them were brought up in this culture where academics were the main determinant of success and their future. So for them, our success in school is the only way to judge our ability, right? I mean, I hope none of your parents are actually like truly like this, but I think it's a general trend across Asian and specifically Indian families that parents put way too much pressure on their kids to succeed academically, and sometimes that can be too much, and
there needs to be a kind of a balance, Like obviously you need some pressure also, or else you're just gonna end up getting all C's and D's. But there should be a way for them to kind of stop when it gets getting too much. Like they should be able to tell when they're. I feel like another problem is communication. I feel like brown parents they don't try to communicate with their kids as much as maybe like in a regular white. I don't want to say white people, but that's kind of true. I feel like white people have better communication with their children, and so that's why they tend to be happier, which may also be a statistically challenging thing to say because obviously if you look at the grades in academics for brown people compared to like white people, it might not be as proportional. But
Okay,
I'm just saying, in
we're
general,
getting to the point where this is cancel territory. I'm just gonna cut this short immediately. Let's talk about brown culture overall, like in terms of like not academics, like how we as like brown people, like how do you connect with your culture? Like do you
I
you've
mean, yeah,
got to
we have lots of festivals. Yeah, we have so many like festivals and cultural like events, which is all really nice. Like Diwali, of course, Holi, all these events they get us closer together as a community, and it's a very fun time. And these are all really like all the beautiful parts of being an Indian. This is just Indian in general, so there's not really necessarily a brown person, but also I'm sure all other like cultures and just
South
part of being a
Asian,
part of the
South
brown
Asian, yeah.
community. Yeah, South Asian, Sri Lankan, anything. They all have their own representations and own way of celebrating their culture, and it's all very nice, because it just brings the communities together, other individual communities.
Yeah,
So the real problem with the brown people is just the pressure they put on their kids to do academically well.
I mean, sometimes we think of it as a problem. I mean, many times kids don't realize that this is exactly what's going on. I mean, they just think that this is a part of life because they've not seen otherwise, right? And I feel like it's that independent thinking that is sort of lost in this rigorous academic pressure, this world of academic pressure. It's that independent thinking and street smarts and ability to fend for yourself that is sort of lost in the midst of that. So, I mean, talking about just overall how we have integrated ourselves into this society, like, how do you think that the college admissions process specifically is affected by so many Indians and Asians being in the Bay Area?
Yeah, so that's another thing, right? Especially like, for us, we're going to probably apply to a lot of the UCs, right? And that's going to become so much harder for us because we're, brown people in the Bay Area because of just how many of us are there, right? There's like, we like, we're the majority race here, right? Compared to just like any other race, we're the majority. So that makes it so much harder because each and every one of us are like 4.5 weighted GPA kids with 1,500 SATs. So it makes it really hard for the colleges to distinguish between, who's better and who's the best fit for their school. So that just makes it more challenging for each of us, and that also puts more pressure on us because we need to find a way to stand out, right, individually, or else we're not going to get picked for those, top tier colleges.
I mean, I think overall, I think a lot of the kids are trying to do similar things like going into internships or getting a job or yada 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 yada. So everything is gonna be
You just say that because I'm trying to get a job. I see you.
bro. Everyone has a job, my guy. The only person that doesn't have a job is me, okay? And that's because if I go to apply to a job, they're gonna look at me and be like, "Are you like 12? Are you 12?" They're not gonna accept me. They're not gonna think I'm 16.
This guy's he's pre-pubescent, by the way. That's why.
Stop. Okay, that's not how it works. Okay, okay, that's mean. All right, yeah. So I think everyone is doing sort of the same thing, so it's gonna be hard for colleges to distinguish one person from another, and that's why academics are very important nowadays. So if you have a high GPA, high SAT, high whatever AP scores,
Exactly.
a
Yeah.
high chance of getting in. So I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that's sort of the trend of you know how everything is gonna go. I mean, I think college admissions in general is so stressful. Like, I mean, like there are so many things to do. Like, where are you at in college admissions? Have you finished all your apps and stuff?
I've finished not all of them, but I'm in the process of it, finishing some of my essays, drafts, and stuff.
I mean, I think
And then yeah, I'm just working on my comment up essay, also my personal statement. So yeah.
I think ultimately, like, the essays are a way for you to distinguish yourself. Like, we always say, how do you, we were just talking, how do you distinguish yourself between so many different people that have similar upbringing, similar cultural backgrounds, right? I think the essays are one way to do that, for you to talk a little bit more about yourself and for you to distinguish
Yeah.
yourself.
Also, I feel like the essay is a good way for you to kind of channel out your inner feelings and emotions that you've had without so in a way where no one else can see it. It's just kind of personal. Maybe like a kind of a journal. You can kind of
Yeah.
spit out your thoughts and then edit that into a clean formatted essay that college
Yeah.
will love to read.
I think it's just, you have to be as raw as possible. You have to just get who you are across, and I think that is the key point of the college admissions process. They're just trying to get to know you. Even though, in my opinion, the college admissions process is totally a scam, and people can like game the system from a very, very young age. I do think that they, at some level, are trying to get to know the child. Like, nobody has an agenda against you. They're not admitting they don't know you. They don't. I doubt anybody in all the colleges you're at
Exactly.
actually knows you.
No one really
So they're just looking at your application.
it's just their job is to find out who's the best of their college, and it just makes that really hard for them when there's so many competitive people applying against each other from the same community, which is why you have to really stand out in your essays and in your application in general.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, I mean, when we're talking about applications in general, the only goal is for you to appeal to the human aspect of the admissions officer. Because I mean, think about it this way: like, what if like it was just a robot that was scanning through these applications, just one by one by one by one? Things would get done a whole lot faster, right? Like the admissions process would be immediate. You would get your results back maybe within a week or so, right? But the problem there is that a robot has no feelings. You cannot distinguish yourself to a robot. It's just gonna look for boxes to be checked, right? But if it's an actual human behind that table reading your application, they can sort of they obviously they won't know you as a person, but they might be able to connect to you on a more human level.
They empathize with you essentially.
Yeah, they can empathize with you at a more human level, and I feel like that should give a lot of you who are watching this solace because ultimately you're just trying to tell your story, and your story doesn't have to be good or bad. Like honestly, some of these people have crazy ass stories, bro. Like I was reading example college essays. This girl was talking about her mom, and the title of the essay was "Breaking Up with My Mom." And I was like, "Oh, this sounds fun." And
The
the
first thing when I hear that is, oh, so you were dating your mom? I don't understand.
no,
What's happening?
no, it was interesting, right? I mean, it draws you in. I read the essay, and it tells me nothing about herself. Apparently, her mom had some mental disorder, and she had to stop enabling her, and she left her for 3 months. Like, sure, maybe that's important, but what does that tell me about you? Like, I mean, BSing the essays has become such a common trend between people. Like, they just try to, like, hype up their stories. Obviously, you want to hype up your stories to a point, but, like, people are just doing it to the point where, like, I was talking to some of my friends at school. Like, this guy, he said that he was like an Eagle Scout at a Boy Scout whatever, and he did this project. It was a complete lie. And 3 years into his college, it turns out that they kicked him out of the college because they found out that was a lie. So honestly, I people are like,
That's right there.
bro, imagine doing that. Imagine lying on your essays and you're about to graduate. You're going up there, about to graduate, and they don't call your name, and somebody just takes you. It's like FBI open up, and they're like, no, you're out. That would be so funny.
That'd be so embarrassing, honestly.
That'd be funny if I was in the stands, though.
Yeah. I mean, what's the need to lie in your essay? Just be real, Just like talk about yourself in a point of view that would sound interesting to them, but it's also like not fabricated. It's actually legitimately you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I think
Like if you're, like if you, for example, if you've maybe suffered some kind of trauma in the past that's actually like completely realistic, maybe maybe your mom died at an early age, or maybe you had to get like a leg amputated, then yeah, that makes a story that really they would really appeal to. But you can't just say that your leg got cut off, even if it didn't. You can't
that's
just
not,
bullshit
no,
like
bro,
that.
bro. They're gonna see you with the leg.
Exactly.
You're gonna no. Imagine you say, "Oh yeah, my leg got amputated," and then you come up, you go to college, and you just have both legs. They're like, "I thought you were paraplegic, bro. What happened? What happened? Something's something's fishy here. I mean, no, I think that everything comes back to identity, right? Like, what is your identity as a person? What is your real identity as a person? Not the fabricated identity that your parents put on you, that you showed at the school. What is your identity as a person? What do you like to do? What do you want to do? And what are your goals and aspirations for yourself? If your identity is heavily based on the fact that you are a paraplegic and that you have lost your leg, then yeah, talk about that. But if that didn't really happen and you are not a paraplegic, then it's not a part of your identity. So no matter what you say, it won't be a raw essay. It won't be true to yourself. So ultimately, being brown and applying to college is very competitive. Both of
Right.
us know this. We are going up against kids that are sweats
No,
to the nth
90
degree.
graded, eight APs per year, 1,600 SATs, this many extracurriculars, president of the DECA club. It's just why? Why are you putting like? And the thing is, if they were genuinely interested in these activities and they really want to do it for themselves, it's fine. Like that's completely understandable. But they're just doing it solely for college apps. So
100%. I think
kind
I
of sad, actually.
I think that going up against all of these sweats that are like stacking their application to the point where they're automatically guaranteed to get into like very high tier colleges. I think the one way to think about it is just no matter where you go to college, you're gonna succeed, right? You can find a way to succeed. Let's put it that way. I think college is simply just a means for you to succeed later on in life. You get the skills necessary to specialize wherever you want to, whether that be biology, CS, political science, whatever, and you can implement that skills in, I don't know, whatever job you're doing, or whatever post grad thing you're gonna do. So no matter where you go, whether that's Stanford University, UCLA, or wherever, or even Rutgers University, UC Merced, it doesn't matter if it's a low tier, high tier college. There are opportunities for you to succeed, and despite your mom coming in with the belt, being like, "Beta, you did not get into Stanford University. Looks like the belt is coming tonight." No matter what that happens, no matter if that happens, you're still gonna be able to succeed. So, to all of you
Yeah,
watching,
don't let people like undermine your efforts just because you don't get into the best university. Because there's so many candidates applying to these colleges that it's not because you're a bad candidate necessarily. It's just there's just such a it's like a lottery essentially,
yeah,
And even if you buy 1,000 tickets, there's still a chance you won't get in, right? You won't get the money.
yeah,
So
that's a great way to think about it. I think,
just be optimistic and try your best and just work your hardest.
yeah, I think you just have to be optimistic about the college admissions process. You have to be content with whatever you get, because you're gonna get into some college. Doesn't matter if it's a community college or a very high tier university.
Community college. Anyone can get a community college.
Hey yo, don't diss on community colleges. What are you talking about? Hey, a lot of smart people went to community colleges and then transferred out. So like, I think no matter what you get into, keep an open mind. Both me and you have taken.
Don't forget to look at those emails from universities like Drexel University.
Oh my
they
god!
email you
Yo, they
want you.
spam you, bro. I cannot. I accidentally put my email on the SAT. I've been getting emails from random university.
Colorado State University also.
What is TCU? What is that? Is that like a Christian university? I don't know why they are so infatuated with me. Like, stop it. I'm honestly.
100%.
Yeah, but I think overall, just have a positive mindset. Be content with whatever you get. Don't be like those kids who like cry, like bawl their eyes out when they don't get into a university that they want. Like, I've seen compilations on YouTube where these kids are just crying their eyes out because they didn't get into Stanford. They're like, I got waitlisted on Stanford. Oh my god, I got waitlisted on Stanford. My life's a mess. I'm not gonna succeed. I'm not gonna make six figures. I'm a failure. Bro, literally just be content, okay? Be happy with what you get. You can succeed later on, right? So I think that's where we're going to end it. Hope all of you have a great day. Make sure to follow us for another episode of the Brown Boys. And is there anything else you want to say?
No, just have a, like I said, keep a positive mindset. Just, focus on yourself. Don't think about girls for a guy because that's not going to work out for you, trust me. Girls ain't shit. I'm kidding. Just focus on yourself and, you'll get to where you want to be.
Yeah, I think that's it. See you guys later and peace out.